Happy day, Earth signs. Welcome to your weekly reading for the week of July 9th through July 15th. Thank you so much for being here with me this week. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for showing up to receive what it is that Spirit may have for you to receive. I am really grateful and excited to be here sharing and pouring in or pouring out, allowing God to pour out through me this information, these insights, these downloads on your behalf. And so thank you for being here and for receiving. I always appreciate the support. Earth signs, yeah. Ooh, that's the energy, yeah. Ooh, that's the energy for y'all. Like, I just feel like this juicy energy right now for Earth signs, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and see what Spirit has, and the energy first. I want to say the energy that's coming through is what I just said. It's like this, yeah. It's just like this, juicy energy, okay? And so, can you ground into that this week? Can you ground into that juicy energy, that like just when you go to eat a piece of fruit, you go to eat that strawberry, or you go to eat that mango, and you pick the right one, and it's just so good, so juicy, so good. Can you ground into that energy this week, Earth signs? That's the energy that I'm hearing Spirit ask you to ground into this week, okay? And more specifically, for this week's weekly readings, the theme is focusing on remembering your voice. And so whenever it comes to you, Earth signs, remembering your voice, Spirit really wants you to embody or embrace this, like, juicy energy whenever it comes to remembering your voice and reconnecting with your voice, right? Because you have such a powerful and unique voice, and that's how it makes people feel. It makes people feel just warm and ooey gooey and good, and like they just ate a wonderful piece of mango, okay, or ate some delectable strawberries. All right, that is what Spirit is saying your voice does for people, okay? And Spirit is asking you to remember that. Spirit is asking you to embrace that. Spirit is asking you to give yourself permission to let that be, okay? To let that energy flow through your voice, because there are people around you and in the world who want to feel that feeling, and they're going to feel it by listening to your voice, okay? So can you give yourself permission to ground into that energy this week? If you have to go buy yourself some mangoes or strawberries or whatever fruit it is that does that for you, go buy the fruit, go eat it, go, so that you can just feel into that energy, all right? And we have the Hope Oracle card. Okay, we have the Hope Oracle card. So when we're speaking about remembering your voice, I'm hearing this Hope Oracle card come through, and what's coming through is that it is your voice that is going to bring hope into your own life, okay? If you feel hopeless, Earth signs, if you felt hopeless, if you have felt like you don't know where you can turn to what you can find hope in, or who you can find hope in, or if you feel like hope is just not present, right? Again, if you're just feeling hopeless, Spirit is reminding you that in order for you to find hope, you have to find it within yourself first. So whenever we're talking about remembering your voice, Spirit is saying you need to remember that it's your voice that is going to shift things for you. So what are we looking at this week? We're looking at affirming yourself, using affirmations to affirm yourself in your life. Are you speaking life, or are you speaking death over yourself? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. So if you are feeling hopeless It is not because of anything that is going on outside of you, okay? It's not because of any external circumstances. It's because of what's going on within here, within your mind. It's because of what's coming out through your voice. It's because of how you are using your voice. Are you using your voice to encourage and uplift yourself? Or are you using your voice to shun yourself? Are you bringing death upon yourself through your own voice? Spirit wants you to reflect and contemplate over that question this week. Are you bringing death upon yourself through your own voice? That's a question for you to reflect on, because if you are, that is the answer as to why you are feeling hopeless, as to why you are feeling disconnected from hope. Okay? And it just is what it is. So Spirit wants you to remember your voice this week so that you can restore your hope, so that you can restore your faith, so that you can restore, so that your belief, your faith, your hope can be restored. But Spirit wants you to hear and understand that it's only going to happen through you, through your voice. Okay, so definitely contemplate over that question. Okay, are you bringing death upon yourself through your own voice? Because it's so easy to look at the outside world and blame what's going on in the outside world for what's going on right here. Spirit is saying, I'm sorry, but no. But no. This is where we turn to for peace. This is where we turn to for peace, for comfort. We go within, okay? And again, like I was saying at the beginning, your voice, Earth Signs, has the ability to make people feel warm and ooey gooey inside, okay? It like I was saying, it reminds them of, ooh, they take that first bite of that mango or that strawberry or whatever fruit it is, and it's just so delightful. You have the ability by using your voice to make people feel that way. But right now, Spirit is saying you're not really using your voice in the correct way. And Spirit is saying we need you to change that. We need you to change that. We need you to change that. We need you to shift. Okay? We need you to speak life. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Are you speaking life over yourself, or are you bringing death upon yourself through your own voice? You got to be honest with yourself about that, okay? You got to be honest with yourself. Are you blaming the outside world for this hopelessness that you feel? Because if you are, you're giving your power away. If you are blaming the outside world for this feeling of hopelessness, if you're blaming other people for this feeling of hopelessness, that's you saying you have the outside world and the people around you have more power over you than you have over yourself. And Spirit wants you to hear that that's a lie. Okay, that's a lie. And you're allowing yourself to believe that lie. You're allowing yourself to believe that lie. No matter what, nobody has more power over you than you have over yourself. All right. And then we have the Page of Coins. We have the Page of Coins, all right? So beautiful. We have the Page of Coins, okay? Children are our future, right? Children are our future. Perhaps someone tried to control your future. Perhaps someone tried to control your story as a child. Perhaps someone tried to tell you as a child, as an adolescent, maybe even as a young adult, what you should be doing with your life, how you should be living your life, what life is supposed to be like. This is what you're supposed to do. Perhaps someone tried to dim your light, okay? Perhaps someone, somewhere, at some point in time tried to dim your light. And that caused you to feel a little bit insecure. That caused you to feel a little bit hopeless. That caused you to doubt yourself in your voice, and it caused you to disconnect from your voice. Okay, so when we're looking at the Page of Coins, Spirit is calling you into this space of identifying how you need to build up your inner child, looking at identifying, reflecting on, was your child self, did your child self receive encouragement? What did your child self experience being uplifted and empowered by the people around her or him? If not, if you can reflect back over that and you see that no, that was not present for you. You didn't really receive encouragement or empowerment in the way that as a child maybe you believe you should have. Spirit is asking you, see, at the beginning I said utilizing and working with affirmations is going to be important for you this week, Earth signs. Okay, so we're speaking affirmations over your inner child self, over your child self. It's mirror work. It's looking in the mirror, and it's asking your inner child self, what words would you have liked to have spoken over you? Allowing your spirit to show you those words, and then speaking them over yourself. Okay, because whatever words your inner child self would have liked to have spoken over them, you are needing to speak those over yourself today in this present moment. All right. And so those affirmations, speaking life into yourself, is going to bring about this newfound sense of security. Okay. You feeling more secure within yourself, and that's what you're coming into. You're coming into this space of really feeling secure within yourself. Okay. Because you're building yourself up, you're empowering yourself, you're uplifting yourself through your own word. Florence Chevelle Shin. Your word is your wand. Your word is your wand. That could be something that you listen to on YouTube this week. Your word is your wand. Okay, and so we want to bring ourselves into this space of feeling secure within, of feeling confident. Okay, reconnecting with our freedom, with our bliss. All right, and then we have the Eight of Coins. Eight of Coins. Eight of Coins. All right, Page of Coins followed by the Eight of Coins, and through the Eight of Coins, we look at him building the structure. All right, we look at him building the structure, and so we are looking at new beginnings. We're looking at new beginnings. Okay, you're stepping into a space where new beginnings are available to you. Okay, but in order to sustain the new beginnings that are unfolding, some things have to change. Again, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Are you speaking life over yourself, or are you bringing death upon yourself through your own voice? Okay, because if you're wondering why, if you're Earth signs, if you're like, I've been doing the work, and I've been doing this, and I've been doing that, and I've been doing this, and I've been doing that, but it just doesn't feel like it's being sustained. Spirit is letting you know through this reading that it's because you're still allowing those thought patterns to dominate the narrative for you. So we want to speak life. We want to stop looking through the lens of hopelessness. We want to stop looking through the lens of hopelessness, and we want to remember, Earth signs, that your voice has the ability to restore faith and hope in this world, right? Your voice has the ability to do that, but you can't see that right now because you're looking through the lens of hopelessness. You're allowing the lens of hopelessness to be that dominant lens through which you look, and Spirit is saying that has to shift. Spirit is reminding you too, through the Eight of Coins, that we want to build something through you. God wants to build something through you. God has been trying to build something through you, but every time you speak negatively over yourself, over your life, over this world, you just knock it down. You just knock down what's been built up, what's trying to be built up, okay? And so Spirit is saying, stop knocking yourself down, because nothing else is knocking you down. It's your perspective, it's the thought patterns, it's the hopelessness that you're allowing to be your dominant. It's like you're standing on this foundation and it's just cracking because you aren't giving yourself permission to build a new one. Okay, so this is where the affirmations come in. This is where praying comes in. This is where speaking life over yourself comes in, because something new is being built through you, within you. And in order for it to be sustained, you have to change the way that you're speaking, okay? You have to change the way that you're speaking. And then we have the Judgment card. And then we have Judgment. Judgment is just coming in and wrapping it up. Coming in and wrapping everything up, okay? Speaking of the lens that you're looking through, all right? Like I was just saying with the 8 of Coins, changing the lens that you're looking at your life, at yourself, at the world through. You have a tendency, Earth signs, I'm hearing, you have a tendency to condemn the world, and then you cause yourself to be frustrated because you can't fix it. It's not being fixed in the way that you believe it should be fixed in. Okay, so Spirit is asking this question. Either you're going to condemn the world or you're going to be an active participant in building it up. We can't have both. Your energy can't go to both. Okay, your energy can't go into condemning the world and building it up. You either need to focus your energy on building the world up, empowering yourself, empowering the people in the world, or you're going to continue to condemn the world, okay? But that's what the Judgment card is speaking to. Okay, so sometimes, a judge will be sitting in their seat and they'll have a defendant in front of them, right? And sometimes the judge offers the defendant grace, I'm going to give you community service, or however you want to look at it. Sometimes grace is offered. Spirit is saying, in order for you to reconnect with this hope, with this inner peace, with your faith, you need to ground yourself in grace. You need to be looking at the world through this lens of graciousness, compassion. All right? Because you may even be feeling this, I just had the word and I lost it, and I love whenever I do that. Grace and compassion. Spirit is saying you may preach grace and compassion, but then you're also condemning the world at the same time, so you're just canceling it out. So we have to choose one or the other. There's a choice that you're being met with, Earth signs, okay? Whenever it comes to your life, whenever it comes to your own life, right? Making a choice. How are you going to speak life, or are you going to speak death? Whenever it comes to how you view the world, are you going to speak life, or are you going to speak death? Are you going to condemn, or are you going to build up? It's time for you to choose, because there's a calling. God is calling you to something. God is calling you to participate in building, right? And bringing heaven to earth. Okay? Because that's what we're doing. That's why we're here. We're here to establish heaven on earth. And so are you going to be an active participant in that process? You have a choice to make. And then Capricorn, your clarifying card is the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords. Capricorn, I'm hearing it's time for you to... Capricorn, I'm hearing the word... So obviously we have the Page of Swords, and for you, probably clarifying the Page of Swords coming in as your clarifying card, Capricorn, saying to you, it's time for you to release yourself from pessimism. Okay, because that's where, that's where the disconnect is for you, Capricorn, you want to be more optimistic. You want to be more hopeful. You want to look at the world through this loving, compassionate, graceful, gracious lens, but then you also still live in this condemnation of the world. So the Page of Swords for you, Capricorn, is saying it's time for you to mature. It's time for you to mature in the way that you look at the world, right? So Spirit is really calling you to think differently about the world, to think differently about the world, okay? Because you are a part of the world. You are a part of this world. And so Spirit is calling you to think, to change the way that you think about the world, okay? Because Capricorn, how you are receiving the world is how you experience the world receiving you. And that's part of the reason why you walk around with this pessimistic attitude sometimes, is because you're not receiving the world in a very loving and gracious way, right? Living in this condemnation. And so then in your mind, you're not really using your voice in the way that you should be, because you believe or feel like you're not going to be received well. Okay? But that is a reflection of how you receive the world, right? As within, so without. So if you can shift how you think about and how you receive the world, Capricorn, game over. Taurus, your clarifying card is the Four of Wands. Your clarifying card is the Four of Wands, Taurus. Taurus. I feel like the Four of Wands for you, Taurus, is clarifying the Eight of Coins. I feel like, yeah, I feel like it's possible that the Four of Wands for you is clarifying the Eight of Coins, Taurus. You need, what I'm hearing is that you need people to, community is important for you. Community is important for you, Taurus. And you could either be in this space of putting yourself around people so that you can feel safe, even though the connections really aren't in alignment. You could be in a space of neglecting community altogether, right? And not because community isn't important to you, but because you're just in a space of pushing. You're like in this overdrive, and it's just causing you to kind of neglect community in a sense. Or you could be in a space, Taurus, where you feel as if you've been burned, okay, by people. And so you're kind of like isolated. But Spirit is reminding you that in order for you to build what it is that you desire to build, community is important. So either way, whichever side of the fence you're on with those three examples that I gave, Spirit is just reminding you that in order for you to build what it is that you're being called to build, community is important for you, okay? Having people assist you, and you assisting other people is important, okay? And Spirit wants you to be open. Spirit wants you to be open to making new connections, I'm hearing too, because these new connections will, it feels like they'll help to kind of restore this hope for you, okay? So don't turn your back on the idea of community. I wrote something in my journal actually today, and yeah, what I wrote this morning in my journal is that the highest order is connection, Taurus. The highest order is connection. So don't turn your back on community, all right? But also don't just give yourself to everybody because you're trying to keep this inner child safe, because you're don't fall into this don't fall into the patterns of trying to create this false sense of security for yourself. That's also the message for you, all right? Okay, Virgo, the star. The star, Virgo. How beautiful, the star. Okay, the star. Virgo, your clarifying card is the star. Your clarifying card is the star, and I feel like the clarifying card for you, or the star for you, Virgo, is clarifying the Page of Coins. Also, probably the Eight of Coins. Well, really, all three of them, because you have condemnation with the Judgment card. You have, you know, speaking life or death, and how are you building yourself up with the Eight of Coins? And then you have the Page of Coins we were speaking to. It's possible, Virgo, that, you know, your emotional and mental well-being were neglected or overshadowed whenever you were younger. And so, Spirit is inviting you into this space, Virgo, to remember your voice, to remember that it's your voice that is going to change things for you. Okay, you are the star. You are at the center of your world, and it's your voice, right? So you could be hearing voices in your head, like the voices of the adults that you know, that you are around, that maybe spoke negatively to you. You could be hearing those voices still. Okay, so Spirit is really wanting you to differentiate between the voices that are real and the voices that aren't. Okay, your voice is the real voice. Your voice is the voice that matters most, right? So can you make a distinction between their voices and yours? Because right now it's all kind of coming together, and so you're not really able to hear clearly your voice. But Spirit is saying, if you can pause for a moment, if you can let go of the judgment and the condemnation, if you can take out the time to really ask, remember what I was saying with the Page of Coins, ask your inner child self, what would you have liked to have been spoken over you? To lift you up, to build you up, to empower you. Receive those words and then intentionally speak them over yourself. Okay, so Virgo, you are the star. You know what you would like to be in this world, who you would like to be in this world, and you have every right to show up as that person. Okay, especially because you're being called to show up as that person. Okay, you're being called to use your voice to not condemn, but to build up the world. All right, Virgo. So I love you all very much. Y'all know I love y'all. I love the earth signs. Y'all are some of my favorite people. And I appreciate you all for being here and for receiving this reading. Okay, if it resonated, if you have any thoughts, make sure you leave them in the comments. I want to invite you to join me for this week's weekly group meditation, Heart Centered, which takes place every Thursday during the evening. And you're free to join me for that. You can sign up by using the link in the description box. Also, if you would like to receive a more personalized weekly reading, you can also book an appointment for that by using the link in the description box. I love you all so very much. I appreciate your support. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.